Hello humans, Master Dinnerflex here, bringing you the low quality content you deserve, and today my voice is a little hoarse, but it doesn't matter because Master Duel is here, yay! I am known as Unfathomable, and here's my friend code, so you can follow me, give me some internet validation on Master Duel as the world slowly ends. But that's not what I want to talk about. Sure, Master Duel is unfinished, and if you don't believe me, my current set icon frame is icon_frame04. But, despite that, it's actually really fun. I don't know what my expectations were for Master Duel. The only expectation I had is the grinding was going to be identical to Duel Links. I really did. So I thought it was going to be like weeks before a large amount of the player base had actually anything playable. But in reality, like, within 3 to 4 hours of this game being out, people had competent meta decks. So that's pretty cool. And, what can I say? This format, not even this game, this format actually is really good. Because, despite the fact that it's, like, even a more chaosy, OCG, it's actually fine. Because the problem with, degenerate gameplay is when it's singles, it's far less frustrating. Even though you will play a game, and you will never get to play a single bit of that game, it only happens once. The frustrating part about that happening in a match is game 1, you don't get to play a card, and then in game 2 and 3, you get blown out by side deck cards. And it's very unsatisfying gameplay. But when you have an unsatisfying game and Duel Links 2, my bad, is that once the game is over, the game is over. You don't have to sit through it again. And I think that works a lot better than I was expecting. Because I was just expecting, wow, you just get comboed out of your mind and you can't play. And that isn't actually, well, it is the case. It's much less frustrating than you would expect it to be. Yeah, it can piss you off, but it's a lot less of an issue when you only have to deal with it once. This format also has made me realize the TCG is too fucking hard on banning decks. I'm going to be totally honest. The TCG needs to just stop banning decks. I have been playing Lunalights. This is a combo deck. I have not enjoyed a combo deck that was meta relevant since Lunalights, which was almost like over 2 years ago now. And what this has made me realize is the TCG is too stubborn to ever give you back decks, and will actively ban decks to unplayability just to get them out of the way. And I think that's actually just so frustrating, because a lot of the times these decks are actually fun and people want to play them. I know you want to push new product, but Jesus fucking Christ, if nothing is safe and people's favorite decks can just get thrown away out of nowhere, it's very easy to see why people get frustrated with the game super quickly and, like, lose interest in it. Because decks have different playstyles. Just because it's a combo deck doesn't mean it's the same combo deck as the previous one. No, like almost all decks have their own unique identity, and getting rid of one eliminates that identity from the game entirely. So when you have an entire format that's just totally fine with dismantling any identity of a deck, it's really unsatisfying. It is incredibly frustrating for a lot of players, and it's very easy to lose interest in the game when not only can one of your favorite decks go away, but multiple, then it's pretty easy to just not care. But, like, looking at this, Lunalights, Orcus, look, even here, Trident. People are enjoying playing Zoo. Even, I'll give it to this, even the OCG banned Trident, banning Trident was the biggest waste of time, the most horrible hit this deck ever got, because it absolutely didn't mean anything. The reason people are so hard set on Zoo is because of Zeus. Trident actually didn't contribute to that game plan at all, except just being one of 5 materials. Like, this is actually one of the worst bans of all time. People like playing Zoo, but when you eliminate Trident, it's incredibly unsatisfying, like I said. But even then, like, a random Zoo can't get you to F-Zero. It has to be like Rat or Throw a Blade discarding a Ram. You can't just expect you to get anywhere with a single Trident, because it's a single pop, and even a single F-Zero backed up by stuff isn't that threatening. It really isn't. I think Master Duel has taught me the game needs to just stop banning decks and making them unplayable. If a deck is so fundamentally degenerate that you don't think it should stay in the game, you should instead just not make it. But now that we've got that discussion out of the way, what can I say about raiding, or like ranked grind? I actually enjoy it a lot, despite the fact that it's unsighted OCG format. 2 things I absolutely despise, I think work well together. And what's really funny is my first deck wasn't even Lunalights, as you saw. It was actually this. And the reason I chose this is because there were a bunch of unlimited challenges, like Gain Life and Special Summon from the Graveyard. 2 things this deck does exceptionally. So while I was ranked grinding, I would just also be gaining gems passively. And this actually got me to Gold 2. But then after Gold 2, it started to hard plateau, so I just switched to Lunalights. It's a very cool format. I will say, oh, yeah, the extra deck's unfinished because I took out a card I know I wasn't using. I've yet to find a suitable replacement. And what I've learned is, I used to think this card was terrible. It's the new Hieratic, and it negates a card that... it pretty much negates your opponent touching your cards. Because they can't target a banished card of yours, a card in your graveyard, or a card on your field, because this will just detach and negate it. And I thought it was kind of terrible, because it doesn't have a function that rank 8s don't already have, like Photon Lord and number 38 can prevent this from happening, but this card's like very relevant. I'm actually kind of shocked how very good this card is. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this was like the passive grind set deck until plateaued, and like I said, I switched to Lunalights, which man, it's actually just very fun. I miss this deck so much. Now, what else can I say? Not really much of anything. The crafting system, very nice. It's the sole reason why this game doesn't feel like a chore to play. And that's actually just the best thing. Because the problem with Duel Links is it's effectively, after 5 years, it's degenerated to a point where it's just appealing to whales. Like, it's so genuinely unplayable for most of anyone trying to join, unless they just fork over a bunch of money, or like they grind for nothing. Like, it's very difficult to do free to play, and it feels like a chore anyways, because once you get past like the first easy gems, it's unsatisfying gameplay, and that's something I feel like the game will probably eventually feel like, but right now it actually feels very satisfying. And I think it's also a bad move for them to try to go for the whale pander, because it's basically the same idea of you should never own a business or like restaurant or bar that only serves to regulars, Because eventually the regulars will run out. Eventually the whales will run out. Eventually they're going to find something better. And, like, you're not bringing in new people. You're just trying to get as much from the old people, and that is not sustainable and actually kind of dangerous as a business. But, which is why I think they should not go the whale route. I think they should actually stick, even if they want to change up some things, try to keep it to a minimum, because, like, the whole thing this game did, I will say, this is pretty good on Konami's part, is, they stopped pandering to DM shit. Oh, it feels so good when your gameplay trailers don't show Dark Magician Girl, Blue Eyes, White Dragon. It actually feels so satisfying. You're just showing people regular Yu-Gi-Oh! You're showing them actual Yu-Gi-Oh! You're not showing them clips from the anime. And that's very good. Like, because as far as a normal person who doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is concerned, Max C is a new card. Despite the fact that this card is 11 years old. Lunalights, never heard of them. Dangers, what are those? Armageddon Knight, Dark Grepher, are those new? Like, for normal people, all of these cards are new. Because Konami has done such a horrible job at, like, showing the modern game in any capacity and just kind of just sticking with DM pandering. And that's the same thing of, like, of appealing to regulars, where you're not bringing in new people. But as far as all the people who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting into this game is concerned, you just made, like, 9,000 brand new cards. As far as they're concerned. And I think showing off those 9,000 new cards in your trailer, instead of pretending like, oh, it's still Tribute Summon Dark Magician Girl, attack Marshmallow. No, that's not the actual game. And I think showing what the actual game is like is very good, because it's chaos. Like I said, the game is chaos, but it's such a very... It's so chaotic that it kind of just works. Because it's, like, goofy. The gameplay is kind of goofy. And I think that's fun. Like, this is the thing it needs to be. It doesn't matter about balance. It doesn't matter about, like, walls or paywalls or anything like that. The ultimate goal of any game is to be fun. If it is not fun, it doesn't matter what else you change about it. It still needs to be fun naturally, and this is fun. Like, even when you can get some frustrating games, overall, you're kind of going to enjoy the experience you're going to be having. It's much more visually appealing than the actual game, and the way it's lending itself to chaos is also pretty hilarious, because you can just get blown out by nonsense a lot of the time. It's just kind of funny to watch. But that's all I have to say about Master Duel. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Game's very good. If you haven't played it, I would recommend. I showed my friend code at the beginning. Give me more internet validation. As you can tell, I am unfathomable. Super unfathomable. Like, look at this. Look at my big ass Sangan. Look at my construct, a million feet tall mommy. But yep, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and remember, Master Interflex will take your soul.